7 billion plus people exist, all unique in terms of their IQ and EQ. I am one of these 7 billion people. And you, the one who's watching this video, you are one of these too. As the clock ticks and the time passes by, we all find ourselves in some sort of mental state in every single hour of the day. The state of happiness, or sadness, or joy, grief, or amusement, or suffering. Today, I want to tell you truth. You already know this, but you want somebody else to say this aloud for you. Any state doesn't exist in the real world. It just exists in our mind. Your eyes are the projector. What you actually see is projected by your eyes taking information from the outside world. You might be happy, sad, angry, or excited while watching this video right now. But why are you so is just because of your interpretations of outside world in your head. Some of us are actually wise in terms of dealing with the way we feel about ourselves, about others, about this world, about everything. However, some of us have a hard time coping with what our thoughts make us feel like. We all as human beings were born really expressive and honest. But I have not seen any infant or toddler or a 5-year-old who can fake happiness when he is extremely sad. The fact is, we all were very expressive when we were babies, but with time we all tend to evolve to become fit enough to survive in this world. As we grow up, life teaches us that we cannot be expressive and true all the time. What we think, how we think, what we say, or why do we say. We start telling lies, pretending to be happy when we are not. Sometimes to pretend being in a safer space, and sometimes to make others feel that they are in a safer space. Amid all this unconscious practice starts affecting one of the most important things of ours, our mental health. You see, mental illness isn't a myth, it's for real. Around 1 in 7 people globally have one or more mental disorders. Globally, this means around 1 billion people are probably experiencing mental disorders right now. The largest and most common being anxiety disorders and depression. We all come across such situations in life which make us feel like we are not good enough. We are not worthy. We have lost everything. We have failed. We are lonely. How do we end up finding ourselves in the middle of such situations? The reason is we have expectations from ourselves, from others, and from life in general. As we find negativity in our thoughts, most of us tend to restrict our thoughts just to ourselves because we don't want to appear as a negative individual, which is actually the root cause of the problem. Sounds simple, right? I tell you it's not. It's way more complicated. The most common form of mental illness is depression and anxiety. There are numerous ways in which you may end up in the land of depression. Listen, I didn't want to just surf the internet and gather information from random websites and put that all in a video. Rather, I decided to talk to people around me who I actually know. And trust me, I was shocked. A lot of people who I used to admire came out to be most depressed, broken, and sad from inside. One of the most common reasons for depression are when you are with toxic people around you who make you feel useless and good for nothing. You might have experienced some sort of toxism and hate when you were at school or at college. There are people around all of us who just love to call others out with disrespectful nicknames and mocking them for their insecurities. They might have a good laugh in doing so, but the fact is, it leaves a sense of insecurity in the mind and the heart of the targeted person. He ends up having a hard time dealing with the unwanted hate that he gets. In some cases, there are people who never tend to get pleased or happy no matter what the other person does for them. These people pose a great threat to your mental health. The other reason can be you are in a toxic relationship. This is one of the worst conditions a person can ever be in. When your partner, the one who is supposed to be by your side in all thick and thin, abuses you, takes undue advantage of you, it's quite possible to fall in the vicious cycle of depression. The thing here to understand is that something which is wrong is not with you, but the other one. No matter how difficult it feels, get yourself out of such relationship. But as teenagers and young adults, we often find ourselves in situations in which we often have to deal with heartbreaks and breakups. At times, we get shattered by these, and many get into drug and alcohol abuse as an escape, which further damages the quality of their lives. The thing here to understand is, heartbreaks are a part and parcel of our lives. Almost no adult person in this entire world exists who hasn't gone through some sort of heartbreak, be it romantic or losing someone very close to you. It's just the way life works. Time is the best healer. And somewhere, if we don't find ourselves in any of these situations, we have worries regarding our studies and career. When we actually have time to work and achieve our goals, we just waste it in daydreaming. When we come out of that, we realize what have we done and get depressed yet again. Or at times it may possibly happen that you don't get the true result and acknowledgement and appreciation for your hard work that you had put day and night in order to make something happen. Be it your career or studies, sometimes we get too harsh on ourselves. Just remember, there's nothing called failure. Either we become successful or we get experiences. And experiences are meant to learn from, not to get depressed and self-harm ourselves. So if you find a door closed, look out for the door that's open. It's hard though, but it's possible. Every problem has a solution. Maybe not the perfect one, but yes, always a logical one. Maybe a series of solutions. Listen to me, it really doesn't matter what religion you belong to, whether you are a Hindu, Mohammedan or a Christian. If you take a closer look at the lives of gods of different faiths around the world, you'll find that they have lived lives way more difficult and harsh than ours. Be it Lord Rama, Prophet Muhammad or Jesus, they all were extraordinary beings, and if they had to live lives full of miseries and sacrifices, we are mere human beings. If God himself had to suffer, how can we as human beings expect a voyage to the other shore of life in a peaceful ocean? By no means I want to convince you to believe in God, but I just want to say, learn good things from their lives. There came situations in their lives when they could have just surrendered or given up, but instead they came out stronger. I want people to be spiritual. Now again, I'm not talking about any superficial, superstitious idea, but for me, spirituality is about knowing yourself and knowing about yourself. Do you know why people get depressed? It's because most of us don't control our minds. In turn, our mind controls us. Ask yourself honestly, how many tasks have you done consciously since morning? 1, 2, 3? Or maybe you just don't remember because you had been on autopilot mode. Sounds hilarious? True indeed. We are a generation of social media which has made us lose our patience and willpower. For most part of the day, we let our emotions and feelings drive us without even holding on for a second, self-questioning. Am I wasting my time? Am I wasting my life? A single reason for depression influences several other aspects of your life. You surrender your rationality and get triggered by your emotions. You unconsciously start thinking and feeling bad about your situation and lean towards drugs, alcohol to find a temporary escape. But it pushes you deeper and the issue's even worse. The only way out is getting back control on your mind. If you can master this, you can almost do anything. Most of the times, a material change in our lives is brought by our physical actions. Our physical actions are controlled by our body by our mind, and our mind can be controlled by our consciousness. How do we attain consciousness? It may sound difficult, it's easy though. Before talking about it, I want to say, stop counting your life in years. Just take one day at a time. Aim to be occupied with something amazing for most part of your day. This is the ground for practicing consciousness. Multitasking is a myth. You're not designed for that. Work on tasks individually. And whatever you do in the process, try to take a conscious decision. You see, medical science has advanced a lot. Technology has evolved. We live in times where we have discovered a lot about how our human brain functions. If you can find out how does your brain function, you'll become the master of it. And it would be easy to overcome any situation in life. What is the best way to learn about your brain? Meditation. The centuries old wisdom which most of us take for granted. It's not a hard nut to crack. Just sit down peacefully and observe your thoughts. Let go the negative ones, embrace the positive ones. It's a habit worth having. Swami Paramahansa Yogananda, the writer of the famous book Autobiography of a Yogi, the book which has been admired by people like Steve Jobs, has said this about meditation. Think away the thoughts you want to destroy by replacing them with constructive thoughts. This is the key to heaven. It's in your hands. We are what we think. Change your consciousness from that of a mortal to a divine being. Plus, you should consider changing your lifestyle. Have a good night's sleep. Read good productive books. Start working hard for your goals, for your ambitions. Listen to positive affirmations. The worst case scenario of depression has been self-harm and suicides. This is what we don't want in society to happen. Imagine your wardrobe. Suppose if all your clothes in your wardrobe are kept in an untidy manner and it looks all messed up, what would you do? I give you a second to think. So how many of you thought of putting the wardrobe on fire? Absolutely no one. You all thought of cleaning it up and putting everything in place. Then why do people end their lives, sacrifice their bodies just like that, which are indeed more precious than any wardrobe? Ending something in a wrong way is never the solution. Nobody likes to read a tragic ending to a beautiful story. Start reading inspirational stories and affirmations and cut out all the toxicity from your life. You know what's more important too? Speaking it out. You may have a bunch of people in your life with whom you can share what's going on inside. And if you know people who you think that they have stories to tell but for one reason or another they can't do so, consider forming a small group of them where everyone listens to everyone with absolutely no judgment. How often does it happen that you ask someone or somebody asks you, "How are you?" and anything except "I'm fine" is being replied? If everyone's fine, then who are these people committing suicides? Next time, when you feel somebody needs to be approached and supported, take an initiative. No, I don't want you to go out and find people you are unfamiliar with and try it on them. Just those 5-6 people who you actually care for. Always remember, self-harm is not the solution to anything. It's an irreversible escape. Never ever try it. Whatever is there in the moment, whether good or bad, is not permanent. It will pass. It may or may not come again. Just remember, feelings are not facts. If you feel that you are not good enough, it's not the reality. It's just your thought. Just stop pondering about the body shaming comment that some random stranger did on your recent Instagram post. Stop cursing yourself for not attempting a maths problem in your exam which the whole class had no idea about. Stop questioning your worth just because your partner broke up with you for some stupid reason. Stop comparing your life with all those fake social media influencers who just fake their lifestyle for money. Stop falling in the vicious trap of distractions and stop wasting your time in overthinking. Life is precious. Life is hard to get. You've got such a beautiful life. Don't lose it just like that at any cost. Be kind to yourself. Love your skin, face, body, complexion, height and weight, and be proud of how you look and feel. Have some mercy on yourself and get yourself out of your toxic relationship. You know what? You're amazing. You're unique and beautiful just the way you are. Mental illness is a flaw in chemistry, not in a person. Let everything come out in its purest form. Let people know how you feel. Mental health matters. Don't ever take it for granted.